Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this is Outside My Window. Mile East Productions debuted the Beer Festival as a premier event back in 2017. In that inaugural year, they made an impact with a beer run and other events, along with the anchor event at the Rod Grand Hotel. With COVID, the event went on pause, but this year's event featured a number of craft beer producers, as well as other Nova Scotian producers of cider, wine, and distilleries, too. Now, neither Quinn or I are beer or wine aficionados, so we solicited the assistance of notable broadcaster and fan Wade Cleveland to assist us and bring us some color to our episode.
The Yarmouth Beer Festival is produced by Mile East Productions, and we chatted with Rick Allwright just as they were set to open the doors on another year's festival.
So this is one of our events that we've owned and have done for quite a while, actually. This is our first year back after COVID for this one, but so we take on all responsibility for the event, owning it. We own it from the ground up. So there's just a lot of moving components to it, and specifically with this one, dealing with the alcohol component and the Nova Scotia Department of Liquor and Gaming to get the licensing and whatnot, and NSLC, and there's a bit to it.
So we're about a half hour from doors open. Once the doors open, are you able to breathe?
Oh yeah, this is actually a fairly I'd say chill event at the end of the day. Everyone's just here to have a good time. There's very few problems with it, and we can generally take a break here and there and grab a few samples ourselves.
Holding an event like this at, say, the Rod Grand Hotel, which is where we are tonight, that adds a little extra to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it makes it a lot easier to do here than most other locations because they're already licensed, and it's just things just come together a lot quicker and easier for us. And just working with the Grand to do this event has always been a success. So we're definitely great partners for this particular event for sure.
And if people don't want to drive home, they can stay.
Absolutely, and if they don't want to drink, you can come too. So there's all sorts of opportunities. We definitely are open to making sure that anyone can pop in and have a good night and be safe.
So COVID, kind of yanked out a lot of the different events. We've talked about this before. Have you been able to evolve the beer festival a little bit into something a little bit different?
We've kept it basically the same. This year's will be a little bit smaller than what we have done in the past in terms of the number of vendors and whatnot. Are considering what it could look like to do a slightly different event with more food and more food options is really what it comes down to, and turning it into a little bit more of a beer and food type event. So we'll see what happens with that. And really, this year is one of the ones where beer isn't necessarily, it's still the majority of what's here, but there's also a good chunk of producers that are not beer, cider and wines, and some hard stuff are definitely they're here, and they're becoming more and more popular for the consumer. So we definitely don't dissuade either way, which we call it a beer fest, but really it's not just beer.
Things have popped up quite a bit in the last few years within Nova Scotia. We're up over 20-odd distilleries and way more than that in the craft beer market. So, as that continues to grow, it seems to make sense that it would evolve into more than just beer.
Absolutely, and I think it's just indicative of where the market's going in Nova Scotia, and the people who, like the companies that are popping up and producing these great products that are wanting to get out into the markets. And a lot of them aren't local, and they want to be able to get a piece of that local market. And for all the producers, these events are about marketing and advertising for them. It's not so much about making money. It's definitely not about making money for them at these events. It is about getting product in people's hands and getting them to try it. that is what it's all about for them. That's why they come and do these, and that's why I think we'll continue to see these events happen, because the producers want them to happen too, and they want them happening around the province, not just in central areas. So.
And I mean, some of the Nova Scotia producers, be it wine stills or distilleries or the craft beer, were award-winning.
Oh, absolutely. And, I just saw, I don't know, an hour ago, Boats Keg won a few awards from a competition in California. So we have producers across this province that are winning awards year over year. So it just goes to show that we have some excellent product coming out of this province.
Boats Keg Distilling is one of the youngest vendors at this year's festival. Based in Pubnico and founded only a few years back, they have expanded their menu of beverages to include peach vodka soda and a blueberry iced tea to complement their vodkas and rum. The day we were recording the show, Boats Keg had announced some huge wins at a competition in California. Bobby Joe Weinman chatted with us about all their great success.
Bobby Joe, first off, huge congratulations. Actually, it was just today as we're recording this that news came on social media that Boats Keg was a huge winner in California.
Yes, it is, and it was. We're so grateful, so proud of everything that Roddy, our distiller, has accomplished. He's doing so well with everything. Products are great. We had a couple silver awards as well.
Okay, so let's talk about the awards themselves. It was a gold for the iced tea, and it was a gold for the caramel vodka, right?
Yes.
What was the silvers?
Silver was our vodka peach soda and our bootleg vodka.
You guys have done so well in such what I consider a relatively short period of time in terms of putting out these extremely high-quality drinks that have been picked up by the community and now on a larger scale.
It's been great. It really has. We have a lot of community support from Bridgewater, Shelburne. We're going to Dove Market and Digby, so we're starting to produce a little bit more on the North Shore, getting the product out there. We've hit the NSLCs with our blueberry lemon iced teas from Sydney right down to West Pubnico, so it's been fabulous.
It's pretty amazing. And I remember a few times when people were literally in line to buy cases of the caramel liqueur, which it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. That was a crazy time. Right now we're able to keep up with the salted caramel. No wait lines at all, so it's been really good. People just come in. Where's your caramel? Oh, right here. And they're able to pick up as much as they want. So no limits for a while now, and it's been really good, really.
So I got kind of a chicken or the egg kind of a question. Was everything started with the idea of being a distillery first and then the location, or did that happen at the same time, or what was the plan?
It was just they came together and let's have a distillery. We're in Lower West Pubnico. Justin had an old boat shop. They transformed the old boat shop to a distillery. Here we are today.
Now, the location itself is hugely popular. People are going there. There's a lot of great entertainment. It's a great spot to be.
It is. We try to have entertainment weekly, not always. We do go for a lot of markets. If there's no entertainment, then one of us is out somewhere promoting the product. The location is beautiful. The harbor is right there. You get to sit, you get to see the ocean. We do have a patio for the summertime. It's beautiful. Couldn't ask for a better spot.
It had to be kind of a wild ride because this has all happened in a kind of extremely short period of time.
Very short time. We've only been open since November of 2021, and for the success that we've had has been wonderful. The support is wonderful.
Congratulations, and here's to the future.
Thank you so much, and can only go up from here.
Heritage Brewing began as a backyard hoppy, literally brewing under the patio. Founded in 2017, it quickly became the independent brewing company it is today. Heritage has been committed to producing authentic and unique beers that push the boundaries of regular brewing styles and categories. You can enjoy Heritage selections on tap at over 25 bars around the province. After their humble beginnings as a tasting spot on John Street, They moved into their current location, offering a patio in the summer and entertainment year-round. Heidi Scott tells us about how busy things are now.
Yeah, it's super busy. We always have a lot of stuff going on. Like, we have trivia on Tuesdays and karaoke on Wednesdays. We always have live music on Fridays and Saturdays. So we try to keep it as entertaining as we possibly can. It's really fun to work there, too.
I would think so. Now, let's talk a little bit about the beer itself, which is what we're here sampling. First off, what are you sampling here tonight?
Today we have our Rusty Truck Red Ale, and then we have our Freezing Spray IPA and our Pineapple Wheat King's Pineapple Ale.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and when it comes to putting the beers together, I know that you're not one of the people who's putting the beers together, but in terms of that, how difficult is that process? As in, like, is it a regular flow of product that comes through? I know that sometimes they change a little bit over time, but is it usually kind of the same ones that are the most popular? I know Rusty Truck is one of my go-tos.
Yeah, we always have our staples. We always have our Kilometer Cream Ale, our Rusty Truck, our Freezing Spray, our Pineapple. We always have stuff brewing at all times. Some stuff takes longer to brew than others, but for the most part, we usually try to have like our staples always on tap. We're always trying to brew something new up and try some new stuff and experiment. So always something new to try.
Now, sours have become a big thing, and I know you guys are pretty successful with the sours.
Yeah, we actually have, we had a new one come out last year. We're waiting on our new sours to be ready for this summer, but we're super excited because they're really, really popular in the summertime. So,
one of the cool things about Heritage, your location, is that you can kind of just look through the window and there's the brew happening right there. Does anybody ever ask to kind of get a chance to tour through there?
we actually have a lot of people to ask to go through there, and usually if the brewmaster is around, which he's around a lot of the time, he'll gladly take people back there. And I think we've done a few like private tours of the brew house, and anyone can just go and look in and like through the window and everything, so you can always see what's going on.
And the other great thing, and we already alluded to it a little bit, but Heritage has become one of those spots where you can hear some great music, especially, well, sometimes on Thursdays, but Friday and Saturday nights, there's always really good musicians. There are always local musicians, and the sound is always fantastic.
Yeah. Well, here tonight there's Shannon and Corey, so they always make an appearance every few weeks, and we love them. They're great. We have bands that come from all over, and it's always a really fun time. So.
Excellent. Heidi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
In March of 2017, Lund's Mill Beer Company opened their doors to long lineups of people seeking good beer. With 7 core beers and many seasonal brews, they have something to offer every beer lover. Lund's Mill is proud to be a part of the Arrow, Annapolis Investments in Rural Opportunity family, and want to thank them for helping them get up and running and for the Arrow's continued support of our venture. Chantal Webb was excited to chat with us, given that their marketing budget is literally on a shoestring.
Well, I'll say it again. We have absolutely $0 for marketing budget. I am the marketing budget. So here we are. And yeah, we're just super pumped to get our beer out to everyone here. We're really surprised by what people are drinking tonight. So that's giving us some ideas for what we're going to be pushing, towards the NSLC and maybe some tap accounts.
That's very interesting. Okay, if you're super surprised, tell us what you're surprised about.
Time of year for beers is weird for people. A lot of folks always tend to go to the IPAs in the summer, the sours, the lighter beers. But tonight we are selling the stout, the porter, the lager, like all of the darker beers. The red actually has been the number one. So yeah, a little mind-blowing, especially with Heritage and their Rusty Truck Red Ale.
That's really interesting because I've been watching you guys as we were building up to this, and that's what I'm seeing getting poured are those porters especially. They look amazing, and it's funny because I think beer drinkers go through phases, and maybe I'm going through that same phase because lately I've been drinking a lot of dark beer, and I can't explain it. I just know that all of a sudden I've been seeing some. They've been very, very good. Tell us a little bit about your darker beers, your porter especially, which is looking fantastic.
The porter has been one of our earliest brews. It is one of our core 8, and it is just a classic style porter. Really, the most exceptional part of it is that it pairs with so many things that aren't, typically seasonal. We make a barbecue sauce with it. We do marinades with it. So it lends itself to summer. It doesn't have to be the seasonal dark beer, dark weather feeling. So I'm all for it all the time.
Tell us a little bit about your award-winning beer, which is really great.
I can't say enough about this beer. So last weekend we went to the Canadian Brewing Awards and we placed 3rd in the German Berliner Weiss category for Girl Hold My Earrings, which is a raspberry rhubarb sour. It was my idea. My brewer hates making it. We were ready to roll with a huge batch of it for this week right after we won the award. And we had a power outage at the brewery and we had to dump like 5,000 liters of it. So yay for small craft beer. So it'll be ready in 3 weeks and everyone can have a taste. But tonight it has also been very popular. We like to tell the story.
Okay, so for those who don't know, where's Len's Mill located?
Nobody knows where Len's Mill is. We're definitely a secret spot on the old highway on the 201. We are in between Annapolis Royal and CFB Greenwood in the tiny village of Lawrencetown, which used to be called Len's Mill. And we have a petition with 28 signatures on it to turn it back to Len's Mill.
I love it. Yeah. Now that would be a marketing success.
28 people.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to try your porter. Coldstream Clear Distilling arose from a simple vision to share celebrations and social experiences far beyond one single group of friends and family. Family-owned and almost 10 years old, but the family's first ancestor was a distiller by trade, leaving Northern Ireland for Halifax in 1749. In Halifax, he ran a successful distillery on Tobin Street, exporting much of his craft to the Boston area. Bentley Henneberry gave us a brief history on their product selection.
Coldstream is a Nova Scotia company that was founded by a family. Everything is still to this day run out of Nova Scotia. We have 3 distillery locations and a production facility as well with a staff of over 100 for the company. So lots of jobs growing for the province. And with that, we've kind of grown a household name for ourselves within the province. We have a lot of loyal customers and people that, like their Coldstream. They know exactly what they're going for when they come into the store. They go right for their product. And we like that we have something for everyone. We really wanted to pertain to everyone in the market. A little bit of non-carbonation, some carbonation. So we're really excited that we just launched our lager for those beer lovers as well. So we have a lot of interest with attending events and really getting the name out there and making sure everyone tries the new lager.
Right on. I was always a big fan of the iced tea, the peach iced tea, which is one of my favorites. But I see you've brought also some vodka. Anna, tell me a little bit about it because it looks appealing. And actually, me with my little sample glass here, I'm going to try that because I want to try something new. And it looks really good. And the minute you mention alcohol and coffee in combination, I get really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of looping back to what you said about the peach iced tea. The peach iced tea has been our #1 seller across the board for years now. So that's kind of what birthed the vodka soda with the peach mango flavor. We wanted to give everyone a chance to have that favorite flavor of peach with something that wasn't so sweet. So we did the vodka soda. That again was loved by everyone and became another fan favorite. So we decided to take it up a step and actually do a peach vodka. So it has the same flavor base that our peach mango soda and that our peach iced tea does. It just has a stronger 35% base, so it's good to add to water. So then again, you can get that peach flavor without the carbonation, without that high sugar content. So I also brought along with me our coffee rum cream. So that would be our #1 selling spirit across the company. So it has an 18% alcohol content. It's a cream-based rum, so it does need to be refrigerated once it's open, but it doesn't have an overly thick consistency to it. A lot of things that you can do with it. People add it to their coffee, drink it over ice, add it to ice cream or milkshakes, make Jell-O shots out of it. The possibilities are endless. You can really do anything if you put your mind to it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for this. Congratulations on the success, which is huge when it comes to Coldstream. And here's to the future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening.
Saltbox Brewing Company out of Mahone Bay states that we create experiences where people form relationships, build community, and strengthen family, and our gathering places are generational for all our families. Boasting a menu of 20-plus brands of beer and cider, they truly have something for everyone. This was Emily Broom's first time doing an interview, and she started by giving us a bit of Saltbox history.
Saltbox is named after like the style of like architecture and everything. So we have 4 different tap rooms now. The first one started in Mahone Bay, and then we kind of expanded a little bit. So we moved to Bridgewater in 2019. Then we opened up Lightship in Lunenburg, which was like amazing. It's my personal favorite out of the 4. We have so many amazing, like fun, interesting events that we host there, like these huge concerts and stuff in the summer. And then we just opened up Saltbox Wolfville recently, 2 weeks ago, I think now, and it's been like it's been fun. It's been a success. Yeah, it's been awesome.
I've spent a few days here and there in the Lunenburg location, and it's a really amazing location. And some of the events that you guys do are fantastic.
It is, yeah, it's beautiful. Like, we have Boathouse Bites over there. We have the barn over there. It's just like, it's incredible. The view is amazing. Like, just, and even like the events that we host and like the people that come through, like that we get to meet, just like working behind the bar is just fantastic. I love it. Yeah.
There's nothing better than having something like this, which of course it's a craft beer, so you guys are putting it together yourself, and using it as a way for everybody to get together. And that's what I find Saltbox and many of these other ones do as well. It starts with the beer or the sours or the whatever, but it becomes a meeting place.
Oh, 100%. Like, we have a great community. Like, I find it's mostly at Saltbox, honestly. Like, we just have this amazing group of regulars, and they do venture off to the other locations, but you'll mostly find them at Saltbox. Like, every Thursday we have what we call Run Club, where this amazing group of regulars come in and they'll like go for a little jog, like run, walk, and then they'll all like gather around, they'll bring in some food and just have like a little, like, I don't even know what to call it, but like a little like meeting, like kind of, I guess. Like, they'll just like hang out, and it's just so much fun. Like, and working behind the bar, like, you get to like meet them and like interact with them on a more personal level. So like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like one big family, which I really love.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about what you have here for samples.
So we have 4 products with us. So we have our Essential IPA, which is our #1 beer. Part of the proceeds of this brew goes back to essential workers. So it's what we call our IPA fund. So like every so often we'll like donate a portion. We just did a portion of that to the wildfires that just happened. We have our Blue Nose 100, which is a lager style ale. It is so yummy. It's like very light, crisp, refreshing. It's my go-to beach beer right now. And then we have our hop scotch, which is our dry blueberry hopped cider. That is my personal favorite cider. I love it. It's my go-to if I want a cider. And then we have our Little Peck, which is a simply cider. It's a low ABV, plain crisp apple cider, semi-sweet. It's a really, really, really yummy cider. We just released that one recently too, and it's been a huge, huge hit. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Corbury Cider Company was established in the mid-1980s. They have total control over their supply chain, growing 18 varieties of apples for their products. Picked and pressed on site, their small batch approach makes their cider crisp, tasty, and refreshing. Denise Flynn, chief cider maker, gave us a story of how Corbury got its name.
Well, there's a few different stories, but I guess I'll tell you the one about when the people in Clare at the shore were kind of all scared because it was supposed to be some kind of antichrist coming, so they all fled to the woods. And when they got there, the crows, who had been living by themselves for a long time, didn't know what the heck was going on, so they started laughing. So laughing crow in French, it sounds like carbodi. And so people called it corbry, but that's not really why they called it that. It's just people said that because it sounded like it. What actually happened is a priest from Corbry, France came and settled there and called it Corbry as well.
All of the apples that you're using for the cider comes right from your own location, right?
That's exactly right. We have 1,000 apple trees, so we have more than enough apples to make cider with.
Do you only use it for this, or like how does the apple production go then?
Well, we also sell fresh apples to the public. People sometimes come and you pick. We have 20 different varieties, and I only use 6 of them to make the cider.
All right, tell us a little bit about the process. What made you decide? Okay, well we've got lots of apples. Let's make cider.
Well, that's exactly it. You really should, get into a value-added product when you have something like that. And my husband and I were talking, and like, what could we do? And I didn't want to make pie, so I said cider. So I went to Ontario and took a cider making course, and came home and hired a consultant and figured everything out. And this is our 5th year making cider, and it's been quite an adventure, especially with a full-time job working as a dental hygienist plus a business on the side. Sometimes I meet myself on the road.
Yeah, that's a huge side hustle. This one is monstrous. So in terms of making it, I find that kind of interesting. I didn't realize that you literally went and took a course. I didn't realize those were available.
Well, it's at Brock University. It used to be only available in the States, but it's a week-long crash course, basically. But yeah, came home, and then what you do pretty much is take the apples and you crush them, you press them, you ferment them, bottle it, and sell it. Just everything on the farm. So it really is from blossom to bottle.
So if someone wants to buy it, how do they buy it? It's not available at NSLC, is it?
No, it is not available at the NSLC. We're a small, producer, so we sell it ourselves at farmers markets. Right now, I'm at Bellavos Cove Farmers Market every Saturday from 10 to 2, and we also sell it from our cidery right in Corbry.
Excellent. Thank you so much for this. The quality of the cider is really high. It's good tasting stuff. Congratulations on it, and here's to the future.
Thank you very much.
Rutter's Brew Pub has been a staple on the Yarmouth waterfront for years. Live entertainment, a full-service restaurant, and their own staple brands of craft beers make them a prime destination for tourists and locals alike. Under recent ownership changes, Clifton Armsworthy tell us how that all came about.
I was approached about a year ago to be part of the ownership group. I do believe it was my knowledge of the brewery, my knowledge of the building, and just being working there for the last 14 years. They approached me and asked me if I wanted to be part of the ownership group, and I couldn't say, where do I sign fast enough?
I can imagine. Now, Rutter's has been one of those places. It's been steady. It's been a presence in Yarmouth for a long time now, and the craft beer is of a super high quality. As I was mentioning before, to me, you're one of the most underrated craft beers because everybody kind of goes for the new, but you guys have been doing this for a while, and it's always high quality stuff.
It is. I can guarantee you there's nothing in our beer but hops, yeast, grain, and spring water.
So talk a little bit about that process, because you're the guy who's doing a lot of that process, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm the sole brewer there. It starts off the day before where we clean all our equipment. We have the spring water delivered and preheated. We mill our recipe for the grain. And then the next day we start our run, where we try to collect 1,300 liters of our wort is what it's called. They couldn't come up with a less flattering name for the fluid that is before it turns into beer, but it's basically sugar water. And we bring that to a boil for an hour and a half. We add hops at the beginning, the middle, and the end, depending on what recipe it is. Hops at the beginning give more bitterness. Hops at the end give more aroma and flavor, citrus perhaps. Mango, pineapple, grapefruit.
Now, Rutter's, of course, not only craft beer, high-quality restaurant. It's a beautiful location. There's always entertainment. It's a real Yarmouth landmark at this point. And so having that in this area has to be something that feels really good to be part of that.
It does, and even like part of the new ownership group, we want to maintain the Rutter's heritage. We're fixing up the building. We're with new menus, new seafood items that have never been in Yarmouth before. We have crab legs on the menu now, which have never been around. But just the excitement of maintaining what Rutter's has always been and growing it. We do have some exciting things coming up next year. I wanted to do it this year, but the plate was just too full. We have a train out in the parking lot. We are going to turn that into a beer garden. So you'll be able to sit on, you normally have a big enough patio, but now we're going to have a huge patio for just like beer and some really high-end nibblies and snacks.
Fantastic stuff. Now, I have in my hand, of course, we're at the Beer Festival, a new IPA that you guys are kind of debuting here. Just got underway, what was it, yesterday? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's called Strange Path, and I named it after the path of my life. You don't know where you're going to end up. I moved to Yarmouth 14 years ago, and now I'm part of the ownership group of Rutter's. So you just, like I said, you never know where life is going to take you. So that's the Strange Path. It starts off with Simcoe hops in the first wort. Then there's a double hop of Sintra, and then it's finished off with Cascade hops.
Excellent, and it tastes really good, very good quality. And the normal Rutter's quality. It really is something that's been consistent, been strong. Have you guys ever thought about doing the canning process, or is it going to exclusively be the microbrewery?
We are actually canning this Thursday. So our beer is part of the new ownership thing to get things moving along. We are canning our blonde, our red, and our raspberry, and they will be available by the can on Thursday.
Congratulations, that's a great thing.
It is, because tourists come into town and they're like, can we take our beer with you? And we have the growlers, but it just is not appealing as being able to take cans, and you can mix and match. You can take 2 blondes, 1 red, 1 raspberry, and give them all a try. Find out what your favorite is.
Absolutely. Cliff, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you. And it's good to see you around town.
Maison Musée was established in 2014. Their premium 2-acre estate vineyard is comprised of L'Acadie Blanc, Chardonnay, and Maréchal Foch varietals. They follow an organic grape growing program, and due to their unique geographical location, they're able to produce quality crafted wine. Daniel Surrett chats with us about how they take their product from grapes to wine.
Yeah, it goes way back since I can remember fermenting milk jugs under my bed at a very young age. But basically, we were a group of 3, and about a decade ago, we said, you know what, let's plant some grapes here, see if we can make it work, and we're selling wine today. So we've come a long way from those ferments under the bed, for sure.
What's the patience level on something like that? Because you've got the growth part of it, but then you've got dealing with the grapes themselves, figuring out what you're going to do with them, and what would relate nicely in what you're trying to put together. So this has to be kind of a long process in kind of when you're starting from the beginning, at least.
Yeah, I'd say you need a lot of patience, and I'll say that I'm 30. I just turned 36, and I don't think I'd like to start it any later than that, just because there's so much work involved. But the thing is, the key here is the team that, we work together and we love what we do, and it's not, it doesn't really feel like work.
I love the taste of what you're making. It really is a high quality. It's very unique. We were just talking a few moments ago off microphone about your rosé, for example, which is very dry and has an amazing flavor to it. I was just sampling the white that we just had, and it's got a dryness to it and a kind of a distinct taste. How does that all come together?
Yeah, it definitely, Nova Scotia's come a long, long way in the grape growing field, and the key part of the viticulture here in Nova Scotia, we can make world-class wines, and we're very fortunate to have, we have our own fruit, but we have access to really high-quality fruit, and when it comes to making the wine, it's pretty easy when you get that nice quality fruit.
Now, do you guys go to the NSLC? Do you appear there, or is it all done online and in personal appearances and those kind of things?
Right now, we do through Facebook, and we have a website. But 2 weeks ago, we hit a milestone, and we shipped our first pallet of wine to the NSLC. So it's going to be available in stores probably within the next month or so.
Congratulations, that's fantastic. How tough a process is that, getting listed by the NSLC?
It's actually been fabulous. I mean, there's a big push for local right now, and we had great interactions with them, great meetings, and they really wanted to put our product in there.
Congratulations again, and here's to a great festival and to much more in the future.
Same. Thanks a lot, Wade.
Casanova Fine Beverages out of Bear River began in 2017 when Karen and Brendan Enright realized their dreams of opening a vineyard and winery and partnered with an award-winning winemaker out of the UK. Cider began to flow in 2018 using 100% Nova Scotia apples. With wine, cider, and cello on the menu, they're also set up for tastings and tours. Sales representative William Alexander Richard Pitt chatted with us about what Casanova is all about.
We're established with regards to Annapolis Highland Vineyards when Brendan and Karen came back and bought the vineyard, and Brendan had decided at the time that we needed to be more diverse, so we went into ciders. And since the first one being Buddy Cider, being our original.
Tell us a little bit about the other ones, because there's a lot of different ones. The one I really like is a very, very tart one called Krabby Granny. But there's lots of different ones, as you see. There's sparkling cherry cider. There's the blueberry one. More buddies there as I go through. And, of course, there's the wine themselves. But tell us a little bit about those ciders and kind of that process.
So with the ciders, when it came to making a fruit cider combo, Brendan realized that nobody actually concentrated on the fruit. So our ciders, if it's a blueberry, it tastes like blueberry. If it's a cherry, it tastes like cherry. You do not taste the apple. If it's an apple cider, you taste the apple. So everything is true to its name. So the Krabby Granny is crab apples and Granny Smith. So it has the tartness of those two.
As far as the ciders go, I'm fairly aware of them. Again, I've tried them, I've drank them. But tell us a little bit about the wines. I have less of a knowledge of the wines that you do, so tell us a little bit about that.
So we have a blueberry wine here today, and we have a red sky wine here today, as well as Casa Roja, Casablanca, and a Riesling. The blueberry wine is actually one of our highest in alcohol. It's a 13.5. And it is comparable to a red. Our rosé, which is the Red Sky at Night, it's an interesting one because it actually has the color of a red sky at night. It's sort of an orange tinge to it. It's extremely, I'd say it's a tart wine. It's actually true to form for a rosé. The red Casa Roja is very much like a Pinot Noir. The Casablanca is a title bay without the name. And the Riesling is a Riesling.
All right, excellent. Alec, thank you so much for this.
Not a problem.
Nine Locks Brewing Company began, like many others, a small brew pub making great beer. One night in the summer of 2014, Sean and Danny were having a few craft beers around the backyard fire, and how great it would be to open a full-fledged microbrewery. Crazy talk, eh? Well, soon discussions turned into planning, and then that turned into securing a location, and before they knew it, they were building a brewery. Territory manager Tomas Omachinsky starts at the beginning.
We actually started out underneath the mustache with Rock Bottom Brewing, but our two owners, Sean and Danny O'Hearn, were cousins. They lived next door to each other. After a couple beers one night around the fire, they decided, hey, we should open up a brewery, and the rest was history. So we named our brewery Nine Locks after the 9 locks of the Shubenacadie Canal that run from right there in Dartmouth all the way out to Truro. So it's an old historic trading route, and we're very happy. We're 7 years young, and we just opened up our new spot. So we're not that old, but yeah, we're loving it. Our new spot on Waverly Road just opened up. So if you're ever in Dartmouth, come in and check it out.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to actually doing that. I find that, for me, Nine Locks is one of those companies that really, they led. they led the trail. You know, the interesting flavors, the kind of cool names with beers like Frig Off and that kind of thing. So putting it together early on like that had to be kind of a challenge, because you were really you weren't following in anybody's footsteps. You were leading the way.
Yeah, so we first wanted to be sort of that outdoor brand. So we were first always want our beers canned. Our slogan was, "We can so you can, take it outside." So we're trying to get back to our outdoor roots. As you can see, we just launched our Trail Mixer vodka soda pack. So we're now entering the vodka soda market as well. You see the success of other companies in the province. So we're trying to just elevate everything we have, and we put everything we can into our products, and we're very proud of everything. So
Excellent, Tom. Thanks a lot, and here's to the future.
And come by for another Blackberry Blonde, and our products are available in all NSLCs, so check them out.
Tusket Falls Brewing have 2 locations, Tusket and Halifax, where they serve up over a dozen selections of their premium craft beers with names like Soul Intent, Electric City, and Woke Up Quick. You're sure to find something to satisfy your palate. Be sure to watch out for their food specials off of their smoker. Melanie Sweeney gave us some insight into their adventures.
Congratulations on Tusket Falls. It's been, how many years has it been now?
Over 5 years now, yep, with our Tusket location. Yeah, we're going on almost 2 years with our Halifax spot.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. That's quite an adventure that you guys kind of undertook, because it's really cool to do one, but to take that and move it into a much larger venue and see how that went, that had to be quite an adventure.
Yeah, it has been. It's still an adventure. We're still, figuring things out, but it's going well. And yeah, we enjoy our space. We love it up there in the North End, and people have been great. We've got lots of local support there too, just like we do here in Tusket. And yeah, so we're really enjoying it.
Talk a little bit about the beer that you make and how it's put together. Originally, what was the idea? Did the beer come first, or did the concept of doing a brewery and then figuring out what kind of beer you wanted to make? How did that all come together?
It kind of all came together all at once. Beer has always been the focus. We have introduced a decent food menu size to both of our venues since we first opened, but the beer was always intended to be number one, with doing a full-scale brewery. And it was a little bit of testing, pilot batches in our garage leading up to while the building was getting built, and a lot of education on Jeff's part. He tends to brew a lot of more modern style beers, focusing on hazy IPAs, creamy stouts and creamy porters actually, and some fruity sours, fruit-forward sours. But just recently he's really gotten into a good lager program. We have 3 Pilsners on the menu now, and so he's really enjoying brewing those more traditional style brews as well. They take a long time. We lager them for 60 days in the fermenter, so it's quite a process, but it's worth it. Going into it, we did get a large size system for the province. We're one of the larger ones, but the intent was we didn't want to have to expand our brew house within the first 5 years. We wanted to grow into our brew house, so we're moving in that direction. So yeah.
And it really has come together extremely well. First off, there's been a huge buy-in by the community. It's a beautiful facility, first off. It's a beautiful bar, and that makes it so easy. But there's an enormous amount of enthusiasm when you guys first opened, and of course that continues right to today when it comes to the beer and having that meeting space. So that has to feel really good.
Yeah, it does. I enjoy every time I go into the tap room and, everybody's saying, hey, Mel, wherever I go. It's really great. The community really has embraced us, and I think a lot of people were probably initially surprised that a brewery was opening up in little old Tusket, but I think it's been great, and we don't regret the spot that we chose, so yeah.
Excellent. Congratulations, and here's to the future.
Thanks very much.
So Wade, we're trying the Mango Sour Electric City here at Tusket Falls Brewery. What did you think?
I really like it. And I'll be honest with you, first go at a sour. I've kind of avoided them a little bit, but I wish we had recorded it. But we had a great explanation about how they put the recipe together, which was fascinating, and I really wanted to give it a try. It's tart. It's really nice and tart. It has a great aftertaste. I really enjoy it, and actually I would go and I would buy one of these.
It's not something I drink several of, but it would be great as like an after dinner drink.
This is a hot day on the patio. You're sitting out maybe at Tuscan Falls because they have a beautiful outdoor patio on a hot summer day, and you have one of these and a snack and you're good.
After mowing the lawn.
Exactly. Yeah. Makes me want to go mow my lawn even as we speak.
I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this has been Outside My Window.